Hello everyone. Hey Ibi,
Hi,
welcome back.
Costa. Hello, everyone.
Mhm. For today, we're going to explore gene key 38 in the transmission of the gene keys. And so this goes from the shadow of struggle to the city of, um, I keep forgetting, what is the city?
Honor.
Honor. And then it's the gift of perseverance. Um, So I'll just take it away a little bit. I also happen to have this gene key in my uh, hologenic profile, and so in the Pearl, and so it's one of three keys that helps you become a warrior of light, to, in some ways, battle the shadows and to come out victorious at the end. And so when it comes to struggle, it means you fall into a victim state, and this victim state keeps you there because you're fighting all the time. You're very reactionary, and you can't seem to get out of the mud, as it were. So there's always a resistance at play in the back end. When it comes to perseverance, this is when you sort of take note of being able to fight the right battles and come out victorious on that end. So when that takes place, there's no seem or feel of resistance, or there's no struggle. Um, and when when obstacles do arise, you'll see them as a part of a natural rhythm to life, and they're always seen as a gift in disguise. And so it's seen as the obstacle which is there to help yourself love it more. So, as it says here in the Gene Keys book, if you're someone who has the 38th gift in your profile, then every obstacle is a wonderful and vital opportunity to feel more alive and to fulfill your high destiny. So, it's a gift that thrives when you're up against the odds, and it makes the impossible look effortless while also exerting themselves fully in the situation. And so generally these types of people can be very physical and active in their life, and they really want to push and exert their bodies in situations that will help them strive forward to excel. And then obviously honor is where we're going beyond um, death, as it were, and you're fighting for a greater cause beyond yourself. And this takes on a other kind of realm where it's a devotion towards a service, for example, and and this can take its own many different forms as a way of um, fulfilling that service. And it's also seen as the attainment of the certainty of final victory. And it's only about finding the right battles to fight in that way. So it's seen as a dance between um, turning combat into a dance, and as a sword play of love itself. So um, yeah, that's what I see from this gift, um, and city.
Mm. Yes, thank you, Costa, for introducing this archetype, which was a great mystery for me for a long time. I have the 38 with line 3 in, I think it's my Neptune, or one of the keys in the human design chart. And it was not easy to penetrate it at the beginning, because I couldn't understand with my 6 lines why we need to struggle and what is really this struggle, because this jinky is containing at the shadow level, at the level of struggle, all types of struggles, all forms of struggles, as a human being. And it comes from this mm, genetic programming for survival. We had to struggle for survival. And this is actually huge pressure, a force that is coming from the root center, and that is just igniting this readiness to fight for survival. And in our modern days, is not about surviving anymore, not in the sense we were used to when we were fighting for shelter and finding food in the forest and killing animals, but is actually a way to tame or to access the life force, this pure life force, and to channel it into finding purpose and meaning and acting with strength and precision when the time is right to stand up against the odds and to fight for the right battle, driven by your inner truth, and fight with integrity for something that has a deeper meaning for you, first of all, and serves a higher purpose. But this key is really containing a lot of aggression. It has this aggressive aura because it has so much power and can be fierceless, and can be really sudden, because it is this fire that is contained in the hexagram that just burns through, and it ignites this emotional depth that drives the action. But how do we really work with the struggles, and how can we discern what is worth fighting for and what is not? Because this key is not having time to think, is not a thinking energy, but is a blind energy that just moves you into action. And actually, it searches, it seeks to the opposite. In the I Ching, is called opposition. So it's all about tension. It's a huge reservoir of tension that can be at the repressive level, can be stored and repressed in the body, and it starts building up blockages. And in the reactive part is always projected out at a personal level as a fight, picking up a fight just for the sake of the fight, and just for releasing this huge tension that is building up in the body, and the pressure to release it through a fight, through opposition. But what's really important is to breathe. So to pay attention, to stop, and to pay attention with a deep breath in your body. If that place where the energy wants to go through a fight is really your battle, is worth fighting, if it has any meaning or is just a way to release this huge energy. And that is the strength, the inner strength to stop if it's not a battle that is in which you can change something, in which you can follow this inner drive that is your truth, your inner truth, and your values that align with higher values, with the higher values of humanity, or is just this pressure of the body that needs to find someone or something to discharge. So, yes, we have so many examples in the history of this is the warrior archetype, but it's interesting how we created this image of the warrior that has a sword that fights the battles. I don't know, leading the battles and fighting in a bloody bloodshed battles and aggression and violence, but actually the warrior archetype can be very gentle and can be very peaceful and sometimes silent and persevering in small ways, but that can create ripples and inspire others. Yes.
Mhm. Thanks, Ibi. It's true, we always need a challenge though, right? And that's why the 38 loves it. And the way, like you mentioned, to get out of the struggle is to find a pause. And in the pause, it's like the gap between stimulus and reaction is where you'll receive wisdom. And so if you're constantly fighting, then you're just going around the loop, chasing your own tail and stuck in the same frequency. And so it's being able to place awareness on one thing or no thing, and that will create the momentum to breathe and to expand, because awareness is always expanding. It can be distorted, but it's always expanding. It can never contract. And I take insight for that, because when we're in awareness, it means that's also the reason why we will persevere, because otherwise we're just going to get stuck around the same, you know, on a, what do you call it, a hamster wheel or something, just running away, just not realizing until something interrupts that place. And the challenge is also the reason where we wake up in the mornings, whether we like it or not. Where the awareness is designed for that. Our bodies are designed to evolve, and so you are the creator of your own pain and suffering. So the way through that is through transforming it, or placing your awareness away from the negativity and using it towards something that you love to do. So those are literally the only two options you have. Either you transform it, you use it constructively, or you move yourself away to something completely separate. And that will open up another space for you. Because if you take it on head on, you're not going to overcome the force. The force will be too great because you're giving it the fuel. And so the honor is saying, look, I've gone beyond that. I'm not identified with the form of my body or of the situation. It just is, and there's no resistance to it. You become defenseless. So it's a very powerful tool because you're using the body in ways where it's driven beyond the physical. It constantly wants to take on things for something greater than itself. It's not personal. It may be personal when it, like with every gift, it's always contributing with the shadow, and therefore there's always a dance at play. So it's taking in the fear, it's taking in the ego, so it's taking in the struggle, it's taking in the provocation with the 39. Actually, I don't know, what is the programming partner of the 38? Is it 39?
It's
Yeah.
39, yes.
So the two warrior keys, you can see how they can go hand in hand. But when we're reaching into dynamism, you're using different parts of different situations, different skill sets. And then it becomes super cool because you have a purpose behind that action. There's something driving you to evolve that wants you to succeed. It's like even when we fall ill, the body knows what to do. You just got to get yourself out of the way and let it do its work. And in this way, it's like get yourself out of the way and just do the work where you feel aligned to. And you'll know it by the feeling that you have and by the awareness that helps you expand. And the awareness will keep coming back. And if you're giving resistance to it, it's going to keep telling you, look, Costa or Ibi or anyone, this is what it's telling you. So keep it's there to help you overcome the pattern. And so with the gene keys, um, in my view, the pattern just becomes softer. It's there, but it becomes softer and softer, and it distills itself until it just vanishes on its own. You don't need to worry about it because you're still using those two key attributes. Either you're transforming the shadow or you're moving away towards something that you love, and you're doing it with awareness and intent. And then those periods of time where you're just sort of lazily going about your day, it comes back in with purpose because you're allowing the contemplation of pivoting the situation to something that's going to help you open up because you're allowing it to give it space through gentleness, through patience, through softness, through yielding, through surrender. And then with this key is like you can apply that with the masculine aspect of saying, no, I'm doing it with effort, I'm doing it with control, and I'm doing it with a driven purpose. Um, and I can see this how it comes about, especially in physical training, fitness, those type of situations where I have a goal or I have a reason to do something active, and I push myself through it, and then it may be hard at the start of the journey of the exercise, and by the end it's like, yeah, I want more of it because it's not the exercise that's causing me pain; it's the fact that I can feel the benefits that reap out of that as I continue and commit to the process. And I was telling with Ibby off screen before we started, I'm here sort of pet sitting a dog, very very beautiful, sweet Jack Russell. But before I came, was very aggressive and threatening towards me, and it felt made me feel very uncomfortable to look after it. And so when I came on and took the opportunity to say yes, I'll just take care of it, the dog ended up being such a such a gentle soul where it wanted me to look after it and cuddle. There was no need of it didn't show its biting fangs or its growling nature in its voice. I saw a different side of it, and it just reminds me of having to go through the challenge and say, look, I don't know what it's about. Like you were saying, it'd be beginning, you can have this struggle, which is just blind. But actually, if you keep the doors open and you walk through them, then it's like, oh no, actually, it's fine. It was just like a little, it's almost like a little test. So this key is about testing you and saying, no, no, let the struggle come in. It's there to show you something so you can climb above it. And then it links back to me with the 32 with veneration, where you're just on the shoulders of other people on a ladder, per se, where you're helping those below you to climb up to evolution. And then there are those above you who may know more or further along the path that you can take, um, receive help from them. And you keep along going along a journey like ants going up a mountain. And that's the same thing with this honor. It's like you honor what is in the present, and you just bathe in it. There's a teaching behind everything, behind every door. And the key thing is just to pass through that door. And this key is like saying, yeah, let's keep going to the very end and bring that light down to others. So that's why it has this momentum to be very, very active and exert physical exertion in its field. I also feel it's a very line three, if I was to put it into lines. It's a very line three because it's taking the dynamism of 39 and persevering. It's like, oh, I don't want to commit. So then it goes back into struggle. And then it comes out the other side and it says, no, we're passing through. And then the six is like, yeah, it's like the acidic realm of line six, where it's transformed. And I kind of see the lines in that way. The one becomes transformed to the four, the two to the five, and the three to the six. A way of playing with it. So yeah, it's a cool key. It keeps bringing you back into struggle so that you can keep being active to fulfill your mission. And so the mission only arrives when everyone's on it collectively. So when I see today the average frequency is quite low, we're still succumb to the mass propaganda of what we see on TV, social media, and other influences in our environment, our parents, our friends, our colleagues. This key is like saying, yeah, let's change that energy. Let's bring it back into unity. Because the 39 then is about the liberation state. So you're going through these different layers. So every part of our journey is a stage. It's not really a state, it's actually a stage. And that evolution is about going on each step up that stage. Sometimes we fall, but then you just pick up and then you become even stronger. And then I'm reminded of the fact that whenever you fall, you've got Mother Grace is hugging you and holding you back on earth and saying, no, no, it's okay. You've fallen. Now you can pick yourself up and go on again. Yeah. So that's the jinky I see of 38.
Mm. I love this dynamic between the 38 and 39. It's such a beautiful symmetry because the 38 is connected with 28 through the channel of struggle, and it's connected to this center that is the spleen, that is the instinct to know, to fight, to feel a danger, and also to look for a purpose. To is this drive to find purpose in life. To is the fear of not living a meaningless life. And on the other side is this provocation that is actually meant to poke and to provoke, to unlock these blockages, to move the blockages out, and to touch the spirit, to find the spirit. And this is the true meaning of the warrior. The warrior is looking to overcome the obstacles and to fight for is the spirit driving the warrior, the spirit inside, and this energy of truth. And actually, at the perseverance is not just stubbornness, it's not just blind persistence. It's persevering where there is worth, where even if there are challenges and obstacles, you are not fighting against a wall and just being in pure resistance or opposition, but it is a way to move the energy behind the wall, to find a doorway and to go beyond the wall. And in the process, in this journey, you are finding qualities inside and strength that you didn't even know is there, and you build up the muscles of integrity and pure, real strength. But you are going beyond the walls of resistance. It's not just two forces that are opposing without no purpose, no meaning. It's actually finding this inner strength, because for the warrior, the battlefield is not external. And I don't know if you saw The Peaceful Warrior, the movie. And I love going back from time to time to that movie because it's there when he's telling him that he should continue as a gymnast after he had the accident. And actually is not is revealing that is not about fighting for fame or for proving or for um, identifying with, I don't know, someone who won, who was the best, but from just an identity point of view. But it is actually a fight with your weakness, with your blockages, with your violence, and with your tendency to give up when there are obstacles and challenges. And I remember the trainer, Nick Nolte, saying that the accident is your training. The accident is your teacher. And it's important not to go in the future and establish a point of destination of your fight. How others will see me when I will win, and let that be your motivation, or wanting to change the world, or doing something that is recognized by others, but or falling in the other side in the past of being victim and considering every challenge and every obstacle and the circumstances as a punishment of life, because that is keeping you always fighting with yourself, fighting with others, or fighting with life itself, instead of fighting for something, of fighting for your truth, fighting to protect um, those who are weak, or they don't have the power and they are overwhelmed by the enforcement of a system that is unjust and unfair. So it is about being one with the moment, being so present in the moment that you always know the right action, and the right action and the right perseverance, like when not to give up, uh, but following always this higher frequency of energy that is driving you. And it's not about for the warrior of light in the high frequency, is not about winning. It's about transforming the world when something became so oppressive for the individual. Is transcending the separateness, because in low frequency we can become very careless. I don't care about others. And why to fight against something that is um, everywhere? Is this collective field of struggle and no meaning, purposelessness that is in the collective field, that can overtake you, and you are isolating from the others and become careless. And then it's really about transcending this separation through individual perseverance and individual strength. And it's the quality that is in this key is the power to access this pressure that's coming from the root, and to show the way in a way, become a true inspiration through the presence, through the way you move the energy against uh, overwhelming odds. And this is the hero, and it can be very subtle. It's easy to recognize in our modern world the silent heroes, the peaceful heroes. I really can see the parents just fighting with systems and fighting for the child to be seen in his sensitivity as a strength, and also the artist that who is not giving up um, to its writing to create beauty, even if it's, I don't know, fighting and struggling with survival and with poverty or rejection. And we can see today in the world this coming back to the ancient wars and polarization. And I can see more and more people watching and not feeding this energy of the war, of being in two different sides and just killing each other or destroying each other and let this blind violence take over. But asking the question, why? And this key is carrying this individual question. The why has to come from inside. Can I really change something by putting the energy in it? And is this my truth? Is this making me grow? It is igniting the energy and lifting me up with a force that is beyond our human force. Because the difference between struggling as resistance to something and fighting as a mean to go through something that became oppressive or that is blocking the spirit is very important. And yes, the honor then when you access and align resistance is and struggle, pure struggle, when your energy is drained, is when you just are going against the life force. You are not aligned with your inner truth. You are just engaging as you are provoked, your energy is provoked, and you are engaging immediately to release that tension, but is not serving you, is not growing you, is not liberating this spirit that is meant to overcome the challenges and the obstacles, and to transform the world, to change the world from the purity. And that can be a very gentle and non-combatant energy, but it has this power of the aura, of the presence, of the alignment with the higher forces that are just setting a field around you and bringing you the right allies, bringing you the weapon here is your own integrity. The battlefield is internal. It is your battle with your weakness and your aggression and your need to fight, to move this energy, but in a way that is bringing you this honor. Is a very dynamic energy, but is also this role model, is this hero energy that is just making the impossible possible and not accepting to be belittled in a way and to be enslaved, not letting the spirit be being enslaved. And this is the dynamic between the 38 and the 39. And the 39 is pointing towards the solar plexus and having the 55 at the other end of the channel. And it's always, always looking, searching for the spirit that will, that will bring the freedom, that will bring immortality, that will bring this journey and honor the journey of stepping through the challenges and overcoming the obstacles by commitment, by devotion, and by sometimes being deaf to what tries to bring you down. And yes, fighting the right fight.
Thank you. You went on a journey there, Ibi, from finding the ways to penetrate into this key to seeking it within. And I find that's also this key. It's sometimes it's actually more of a within internal battle than external in some ways. I mean, you can see it both ways. Whereas I find the 39 is more external, right? Because you're doing battles with your emotions or your thoughts or whatever victimhood you're playing up on the inside. And so it's seen something that's happening on the background at all times. So it's something that can also be seen as invisible. The perseverance is not something that you can see physically, it's something that the physical takes on because the perseverance is there on the internal. It's an interesting way of how you can play with it. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening in, and thank you to Ibi for your wonderful shares.
Thank you, Costa. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And yes, I wish you to find your relationship with the adversity and the obstacles and the challenges, and find the courage to continue and to honor this power in you. See you next time.